and user perspective. Please.
Testing. Mr. Chairman, Dr. Abdul Rahim, fellow speakers, adik-adik, Assalamualaikum. Peace be upon all of you. Now, my paper on mapping, actually I'm very honored that the organizing people invited me here because I personally know of people who are more qualified than me to deliver this paper on the private sector use of mapping. I know of town planners, land surveyors, who work in the private sector where their maps are very accurate, whereas the Ho Chin Sun maps, CorelDRAW pun boleh pakai lah, not the high-tech map info, S3 and so forth. Okay. Let's see what I have prepared for all of you. These slides were prepared 8 years ago. This morning I looked at it and I thought, well, it's still relevant. No need to change. Except when I come to the conclusion part, I will show you some of the latest things that we do. Because 8 years ago, we don't have Google Earth, Google Maps and stuff like that, okay? So we move on for case studies. My background, I'm a property valuer, and we do a lot of reports in the past. For example, best land use analysis. A developer will come and he has got 500 acres of land and he will ask us what to do. So one of the things we did was put a terrain, put the meters elevation above sea level. Then we use CorelDRAW. It's like Illustrator. It's a design to highlight, to do transparencies, to make the thing looks a little bit so that you can visualize the terrain. And then we also analyze the elevation and so forth. And then after that, we zone them into various zones. And after that, we then compare population. Compare population with that particular site with the one we did for Sunrise, for Si Hoi Chan, and so forth. And this is a little bit here. This is done by my managers in MapInfo, where we calculate the population, the shop houses, the industrial, the terrace, the bungalows, and so forth. Then compare to the site. After which, of course, doing all this analysis, I have to admit, I end up writing the report, which is very stressful. So recently, we've stopped writing these reports. We just say we will do map branding, which is easier. So in the past, we used to do this and we analyze the various locations and so forth. Okay, so that's one of the use of mapping. The maps need not be accurate. Doesn't matter. They want the content, they want the data, and so forth. Marketing tool. A lot of developers use some of our maps as marketing tool. Let me give you an example. In a lot of the presentations, this is a long time ago, Solaris, when it was nothing, as I mentioned, we've got some of this land use, and we got the population count, and my managers know how to do this. By highlighting different colors, we can see where the rich people are, the middle class people where, and the poorer class where. So this is very important when the customer, the property developer, wants to show his potential, customer according. You'll notice on the left-hand corner on the slide, lower left-hand, source Ho Chin Sun Research 2005, long time ago, and they will say according to Ho Chin Sun Research, this is the population and so forth and so forth. So this is another example of where maps come into being. We also do a lot of vehicle, Toyota, Honda, Proton, and so forth. And one of them, for example, analyzed number of vehicles by postcode. The wonderful thing about computers is when you have a polygon, I don't have to explain what is a polygon because all of you here are technical people. You use the computer and you can calculate the land area. Number of vehicles divided by land area equals density pattern. And all we got to do is just show them the density pattern and then we send in the invoice to collect the fee. No need to write report. Senang lah. At one point in time, there's always a lot of policemen coming to my office. I don't know what the neighbors think. What is Ho Chin Soon in trouble? Always got policemen coming to print maps. But we just showed the wilayah. Because the old-fashioned way, would you believe, they use those transparency plastic paper and then put on top of the map and they draw. So we digitize. Oh, that's me. We digitized for them, and then we told them you can actually link. You can click on the face of the officer in charge, and then the telephone number, and so forth. So, for example, territory demarcation. Not only for the police, people who sell computers, people who sell photostat machine also need that. Long time back, jarring came, telecommunication, and they used to do maps which is just like that. They draw a circle. And I said, why don't you give them a proper map that shows the strength of the signal? Because good signal, poor signal, no signal. Then people buy their equipment, go back to the house, and then they do, no signal, go back again to get a refund. Very tedious. Why can't you just show them? They say, boss, Ho Jin Soon, this one confidential. I say, what's so confidential about this? They have a map like this. For example, now all this is, I can show you because all sudah tada lah. This one, all the whole dynamics of telecommunication changed. So in the past, they have maps like this. The white area, no signal lah, no coverage. Red one, very strong signal. So they say, how to do this? I say, simple lah. I don't care what software you use. You go back to your technical manager, that layer alone export DXF. That's all. I'm sure our CorelDRAW, our Illustrator, our Map Info, our S3 or whatever software, even the AutoCAD can also open and overlay. So then many years back, then on the spot, the customer can say, oh, my one no signal, no need to buy. That saves them a trip. Strong signal, they will buy. Now I'm rushing this through because I want to show you more things which we are doing recently. When we come to item number 6, for example, stockbroking firm, where maps can be used for stockbroking firms. Last time when we look at the map, you can see Golden Hope in dark red, pink color Guthrie's Land Bank, and the blue color Sime Darby. There are research houses which track public listed companies' land bank. And this is very important information. However, this map is out of date. In case you don't know, Guthrie, Sime Darby, Golden Hope has merged into Sime Darby. And in one of our big, huge wall map, we just give a special color to Sime Darby. Town planning don't have such a color, but we did it for them. And then, let's see what's the map all about here. Land bank of other, there was plantation, land bank of public listed companies, all the itemized was there in the report. And infrastructure, highway, power station, not PowerPoint pula. The Nepal story must have stuck in the head. Okay. And a long time way back before Iskandar, Malaysia was conceptualized, these were the plantation owners. right? And these were the public listed land banks and who they are and who and so forth. Everything is there. You will notice that my logo is not there. It's an ING logo. And because my logo is not there, the fee has to be bigger lah. The bigger my logo, the lesser the fee, because it's considered co-branding. And so forth. So these are some of the things that we did long time way back. And in a lot of the talks as a public speaker, I always have my spare. Luckily, this is the same brand as my Logitech. Bagus, tenang. Tak payah risau. Well, in the past, I used to write articles for the Star, and instead of writing too many words, I just put a map to explain the locational center of gravity. Now, this is all to do with the young people wanting to buy properties and so forth, and the first year and the second year and so forth. And then sometimes magazines come, can you tell us the hot spot? So we just do some simple mapping and put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the hot spots. They say a picture paints 1,000 words. A map paints 1,000,000 words. Tak payahlah susah-susah kan? Just show them a map. These are the hot spots. Senang. This is Sime Darby. You can see the land bank. We are now going to customize another one, update. Previously, 3 years back, they commissioned us to do a map branding for them. We charge them 35,000. And then they keep on using the map. Then finally, they have to come back to me. Why? Because the old map don't have MRT. So now I got another chance to take another 35,000 from them. How nice. I'm sure they will then use that map and map again. But I'm sure one day they have to come back because we got the Circle Line, Putrajaya Line, dan line. We also do map branding for SP Setia, highlighting and so forth lah. So these are all actually in our website. Today I'm not here to promote, just to tell you that in the private sector, Ho Chin Sun Research has been in business for 23 years, 23 tahun dah. My children also grown big already. I was just sharing notes with Dato'. I say, maybe I can become Dato', you know. My daughter married off already. But he's ahead of me. He sudah jadi 2 types of Dato' dah. Okay. Last year, we were the official map maker for IRDA. We are very proud to be a map maker for the Malaysian government. This year, we are doing 3 more maps for them, flagship, zoom in, and so forth. Inshallah, in a few more months, it will be ready. This is a old 2004. As I said, this PowerPoint was created 8 years ago. This is how our wall map used to look like. And in some of my talks previously, when the center of gravity was at PJ State Newtown, I can do animation. I can tell people about build up. I can show forest reserve. I can show the plantation, who owns them. I can then draw a circle, first tier location, only buy in the first tier. Cheaper, you can't go up to the north and south because of the highlands, and then where are the areas of growth. These are all animation done in PowerPoint with the base map, which we use in CorelDRAW. Sometimes we extract this from some of the system that we have. And the second tier, why they are cheaper, but toll charges and so forth. So I find this very useful. Even in seminars like City and Country, every year they have a seminar. I go there and I just show a map. Right? Such a title cannot be confirmed, news clipping, who bought, who. We put a picture, we put a map, cerita sudah. The message has already gone to the audience. So it's very useful. The map is very useful. Conclusion, I got 10 minutes. How nice. I have been trained by the private sector to speak for 30 minutes only. So when I see 25 minutes, I got a bit stressed. 30 minutes, why? Because when a developer has a product launch, it is very important that the speaker don't overtake too much time because other people got appointment. Lepas itu, after that, I only allow 1-2 questions, more questions go to one side. So that the people who come for the talk can then go and choose the product. So that the sales team of the developer can then close the sale. If you go and speak for panjang-panjang 1 hour, and then after that people rush off. They won't buy property, yeah? Okay, so I got about 10 minutes. And the conclusion, as I mentioned, is some of the latest things. Now we got Google Earth, we got Google Map. And then recently I've been traveling in the aeroplane. I always make sure I have a good camera. Let us proceed. This is one example one developer wanted to do. A product near the Federal Highway. This is taken from them. They have already got an artist. They have got a helicopter to fly. And then I came in and I said, look, this is the exact zoom in taken from Firefly. In a way, this is also GIS, even though it's not base map, because a lot of maps can then be linked to the photograph. So I can also show that. In some of my talks, when I talk about the speculative MR33 lines, I show people, this is taken last year, sorry, it's almost 2 years back. 2 years back in July 2010, how the speculative MRT line will go to Putrajaya Central. This is the ERL, we are very nearby. And then I showed them another picture taken December 2011. How nice, beautiful, isn't it? Do you agree that this is a very nice picture? I got lots of all these pictures in my computer. Next time you take photographs, you give to me. I put your photograph, I put your face or your company logo. This is called branding lah. I help you to brand that I took the photograph from you. So I'm not going to highlight which developer. I'm going to say, for example, if you either take the, let me see whether it works. Okay. Either you take the, let me see where it is now. The station, or you can take the Maju Expressway. So the lands in Cyberjaya, which is next to Putrajaya, has got very good potential with a MRT coming in to lock into the Putrajaya Central ERL. Not only maps, not only aerial photographs, sometimes I use illustration. Now this is not relevant today, but I think it's also important. 14 years ago, Petronas Tower 452 was the tallest structure in the whole world, overtaken by Hong Kong, China, Taipei, Ghost Protocol. 828 meters, ladies and gentlemen, is the height of Penang Hill top station. If you ever go to Penang and you are on the ferry, and then you have a nice sea breeze and you can see the height of Penang Hill, that is Burj Khalifa, and they're going to have 1001 meters. I also use pictures. Pictures like existing tower in Shanghai, another one on the way, and there is a clock tower in Mecca which is so high, much, much higher. And well, since I got a lot of time, I myself tell you a little bit. You know, this World Financial Center in Shanghai is maybe number 3, number 4. Now, I show this in relation to Warisan Merdeka. Bila saya pergi Singapura, Warisan Merdeka, mereka tak faham. Saya terjemah kepada mereka, Warisan Merdeka maknanya Najib Tower. Then only they understand, oh, Najib Tower. Okay, look at number 4 or number 5 here. In 8 years' time, what will its position be? This is just additional material for you. I say in 8 years' time, it will be number 20. Taipei 101 that knocked our Petronas Twin Tower will be number 18. Freedom Tower 541 meters. Is here. Mecca one. And then to my horror, mana boleh Jakarta menang. He beat us. So I assume Warisan Merdeka aspires to be in the top 5 to beat at least Jakarta If we don't beat Jakarta, then we will export Malaysian maids to Indonesia. And you look at the color, the way I color, different color. If we believe Taipei should be colored blue, then half of the world's top 20 buildings in 8 years' time are from China. The world has changed, ladies and gentlemen. In some of my presentations, I used Google Earth. Thank you, Dato. 5 minutes, don't worry. I intend to stop exactly at 0. Okay, so that we can also catch up. I'm almost finishing. Google Earth, you will notice a lot of people use it even in their advertisement. And it's all free of charge. And I use this was because to talk about the hill highway that the Penang government wants to implement. This is from one of the developers. They got a lot of aerial photographs. I borrowed them to use. If I borrow your photograph, I have to put your logo. And this is from the Age magazine about the hill highway. This is when I go and give talks about infrastructure. For example, Penang, Lee Kuan Yew went to Penang and looked at the Penang people. Your infrastructure sudah kalah, sudah loose. So the Penang people came back. We're going to do the hill highway, going to upgrade Paya Trubong, going to draw a tunnel from Ai Tam all the way to Lim Chong Yu Highway, and there's going to be an undersea tunnel. Now, if without a map, how can I present this? But with a map, it becomes so clear. And I can also show them the second bridge coming to Batu Mau at the southeast corner of the island. Today, we won't have time to do all this. In some of the talks, I even showed the Penang Bridge, the views I've taken from the aeroplane, and so forth. This is a recent talk, Ampang, where a developer, and let me show you superimposed, has a project. And I said, look, I myself stay in Ampang. From Pekan Ampang coming up is the first entry point to the elevated highway. Jikalau ada orang kawin kan, they say, oh, Mr. Ho, we are inviting you. Mandarin Oriental, I feel so good because no jam. Use elevated highway, directly go to underground is the KLCC car park. Walk up, walk across is Mandarin Oriental. Whether it's Friday night, Saturday night, no jam, no. Whether big jam or raining or doesn't matter. You pay the toll, you are 5 minutes, 6 minutes, you are at KLCC. So these are some of the things I think is very important. Map is one of them. Aerial photography is one of them, and so forth. I even wrote a book. One day, my son came back from school many years ago. He said, Papa, you know, my teacher asked me, betul ke your pekerjaan pembuat peta? I write, pembuat peta. Adakah orang boleh, you know, can rezeki pembuat peta? Never mind lah, put their value lah, okay lah. But sekarang, dulu pembuat peta, sekarang pangkat sudah naik sikit lah, penulis. Ada action sikit. So, sometimes when I do presentation, you will notice I also have a map. And then I will tell people, JB Town, Eastern Dispersal Link, Causeway, and this is the Straits of Johor where Mat Selamat came to Malaysia. I tell them, in case if you lose your passport, emergency, don't worry. 3 a.m. in the morning, you tie some bottles, you swim across, the Singapore people won't know one. They can't catch you. And I showed them pictures like this. Woodlands MRT, Thomson Line coming in, Republic Polytechnic Interchange, and then and so forth lah. I'm running out of time. And then I upgraded my camera. You can see Woodlands. You can see even the swimming pool in the Republic Polytechnic. Once I show them this one, no need to talk anymore. Semua sudah selesai. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. You want some of my PowerPoint slides, go to hochinsun.com. You can download all the free presentation. Assalamualaikum.